think this poem could be seen as, expressing really the kind of attribution of Jesus' crucifixion to the Jews, but in a complex way. So here Donne is imagining himself as Christ. Spit in my face, you Jews, pierce my side. So the Christ was, Jesus Christ was Jewish, and he presented himself as the Messiah, and the Roman council, Pilate, allowed the crowd to decide who would be crucified, and it is said in the Christian Bible that the Jews decided Jesus would be crucified, and it is the Jewish crowds, I guess, are seen as persecuting Christ alongside the Romans. So here he's taking that image of him as Christ, walking through the crowds, getting his face spit on, his side wounded. Crucify me, he's asking. He's saying, torture me. Torture me, everybody. Because I've sinned, actually. I'm not Jesus, but he's taking almost the position of it. And only he, I think that's Christ, who could do no iniquity, hath died. I've sinned, but it's Jesus that died. So you need to do that to me. But by my death cannot be satisfied my sins. My death won't clear my sins, which pass the Jews' impiety. So the sins are something even bigger than what the Jews here are concerned with. I think the Jews, they killed once an inglorious man, but so whatever the Jews did, I actually do worse, because I do it daily. I crucify him daily, because I glorify myself. I think I'm so great, but actually in thinking I'm so great, I kill Jesus every day. Oh, let me then. So this is again asking God for help. Oh, let me then his strange love still admire. Strange love admire. Kings pardon, but he bore our punishment. I beg, I think what he's saying is, forgive me, kings, but actually this guy did something bigger than what you are. He bore our punishment. So the death of Jesus is for the sins of mankind. And Jacob came clothed in vile, harsh attire. Now you've got to know a lot about the Bible to get all the references, but I think this is the idea of Old Testament story, or a Jewish Torah story of Jacob coming with his coat. I only know this through that musical, the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Came clothed in vile, harsh attire, but to supplant and with gainful intent. So Jacob isn't that great because he was vile, and he was in clothing to take over, and he did it on purpose. Whereas God actually, he says, in contrast, it's a New and Old Testament comparison. In contrast, God clothed himself not in vile, harsh attire, but in vile man's flesh, so that he might be weak enough to suffer woe. So here he says, God became flesh, became Jesus Christ, so that he could become weak enough to suffer what we go through. And this is something that we need to concentrate on, because we are so vain and we don't realize, we glorify ourselves, and and in doing so, we're crucifying him daily. We think we're better than what the Jews did, but actually we're much worse, because we think that we can get rid of our sins, where we can't. It's only Jesus Christ that was able to do that.